Hey everybody, welcome back to HitPoint, a JRPG news show, an anime news show, a niche news show, a show where I and Baku get to talk about everything and everything that we love. We'll be previewing trailers, talking about rumors, and we'll be responding to questions and comments from the super chats at the end of the show. We do broadcast live every single Sunday when we're not, off at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Man, I think I nailed that one. Baku,
Yeah,
how
I
are
think
you
you
doing
got it.
today? How are you doing?
Pretty
Oh,
good, other than Allergy just killing me. But
oh, it has been a very long week. It feels like a week that's been so long that it's almost like it's been 2 weeks since we last
it's
did an
been
episode.
it feels like it's 2 weeks, but
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you, everybody, we ended up taking off last week, and I did mention this in the Discord and on Twitter, so if you're not following us there, you ought to be, so you'll see when we're, not streaming. And I also throw out the notification here on YouTube as well. But, basically it turned out we had like two things that we could talk about, and neither of them were particularly interesting. Luckily, though, in the intervening week, we've had a few other cool things happen. So we're gonna have an awesome show for you today. I'll tell you that
Yes.
much. It's gonna be
Yes.
so good. It's gonna be so good.
Very good.
Ah, man. Baku, how have you been? What have you been doing last week?
Oh my god. The school is kicking into the final like weeks. So everything is kind of ramping up, final exams coming in. So I am just, dying from school and work. But talking about fun stuff anyways, playing 13 Sentinels over at Twitch, and man, that game that game's a sleeper. There's so many things going on for it. Every person I've ever talked to were impressed by the story. I wasn't sure what I was getting myself into, other than it's sci-fi. It's kind of a mystery.
Yeah.
And I think it was like the second stream. Someone comes in, it's like, yeah, tell me about the game. Like, explain to me what this is. It's a sci-fi story with high school kids and some RTS. Like, that's all I got, right?
Yeah.
Now that I am further in, I think someone came by the stream and they had a very good explanation, non-spoiler, as to what the story is like. The story is basically a sci-fi smoothie with every single sci-fi trope you can ever think of,
Okay.
all blended into a single cohesive and also well-written story.
Okay.
Like, you name it: aliens, robots, time travel, space travel, mad scientists, cyborgs, high school people,
Okay. Well,
closed space, just you name it.
time travel,
Illusions, memory loss, um,
alternate dimensions.
clones, altered
Oh,
dimensions. Oh, yeah.
okay. All right.
Many altered dimensions.
Interesting. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is like just, throwing everything sci-fi at the wall to see what sticks, and
Yeah. Aliens. Yeah. Yeah. It's got all that.
Well, I have been
It's
making my
crazy.
way through some more of Yakuza 7, and it is still going. It is still going. And I have played off stream. I've done the grinding off stream. I've been doing like the business mini game to make my money. I've been
Yes.
grinding for, items to beef up our gear, and we are, I think, in chapter 12 right now. And it just like, it's still going. It's still going. How is this game so long? I love it. I like it a lot. I've been doing all the side content, all the side stories. And yeah, I guess that's probably why it's still going.
I mean, it's still shorter than a Persona game. I would imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
man,
yeah.
it's been blowing my mind though. I'm not disappointed, but I also have so many good games that are like on my like right behind this that I'm like, oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah, Trails 3, but
Yes.
but I want to give this game the proper, proper playthrough that it is owed, because it is doing some really interesting things for the genre
Yes.
that I really appreciate. It is
How do you like the summoning system?
Oh, pound mates. Yeah. That is hilarious. And the funny thing is, like, you get the new summons when you least expect them.
Mm-hmm.
like
I,
like the people that you don't expect to be, summons in the game. Oh yeah, they are those. It's just
you're literally summoning them.
mm-hmm.
It's just
Yeah.
it's
You
hilarious.
just
I love what they did. They did it right, but and they played with the trope and they got it right. They
oh
got
my
all
god, yeah.
the essentials, but then they modified it so that it's like a thing that you could actually do like
Mm-hmm.
in modern times,
Yeah.
right? And it's just so perfect.
Oh, it is awesome. But I'll talk about that more in the full review when that comes out.
Ooh,
I
can't
mean,
wait to
because
see that.
that's the other thing is that I've been continuing to work on my review of Cold Steel 1.
Mhm.
I am still backlogged in my reviews that I need to do, but we are getting closer. I'm feeling like I'm probably going to finish it this week, hopefully, and then it'll go to early access for all the supporters of the show here on YouTube and on Patreon and Twitch and everything. So if you want early access, those are options available to you. But once that finally comes out, that'll be a weight off of my shoulders. It's gonna be a
Very
good one.
nice.
It's one of my longer videos, but it's I
When
think
has
gonna
it
be really
ever
nice.
been bad? When has it ever been bad?
I don't know. Have you ever seen my early stuff?
Uh, they were good for the time, okay?
Okay, fine. I'll accept that. But hey, let's go ahead and move along to the next section here of our show, which is when we talk about some of the comments that we got from last week.
Yes.
And we even have a voicemail that we'll be listening to here shortly. So if you have a voicemail that you would like to leave us, you may do so at 785 337 3805. And that will allow you to, leave us a voicemail. Or you can also email us at hitpoint@superderekrpgs.com to avoid international dialing fees and such. So here's the very first one we got from Lane 11644, who says, "Hey, thanks for the reminder about the UV light. I just realized my shelf is sitting right across the window from the window, so the sunlight shines directly on my collection. And I ho every morning. I ho every morning. So
What's a IHO?
I don't know. Their collection and IHO. I don't know what that is. But
Hmm.
anyways, he says, they say, I'll make sure to put up a curtain now. Good idea.
Good idea. Yeah.
Very good idea. My wife used to work at a movie rental store called Digital Shelf. It was a local thing here in town, and they had all of their games and movies that they were no longer renting out as frequently. They would have them all
Mhm.
just lined up in front of a big old window, and surely but steadily, a lot of them just turned blue over time as they didn't
Oh
sell, and
yeah.
it just it was rough to see that happen.
UV light will do that. Sunlight will do that. Definitely protect your collections against sunlight for sure.
Mhm.
And I just looked at what IHO is. IHO is the it's a demon from Soul Hackers 2.
Oh,
That's why I didn't click because I haven't played the game yet.
I need to finish playing that. I really enjoyed my time with it when I made an episode for HitPoint, or HitPoint Experience Points.
Mhm.
One of those RPG
One of those
points.
points, yeah.
Yeah. At some point, I played it for the point, and I really enjoyed it. And I need to dive deeper into it, especially now I got the
Mhm.
PlayStation 5. I can get that free
Ooh,
upgrade version.
fancy,
Yeah,
fancy,
yeah. I should,
fancy.
you know,
All these games that you need to go back and finish because you've done experience points. Like, okay, I'll come back and finish it
I
later.
know it's like
5 years later.
it's like before my backlog wasn't as real to me because I was just like living under a rock, and now I'm
Mhm.
like just catching strands of grass as they whirl around in me in this whirlwind, and I'm just like, here's one. Oh my god, this is great. I need to play this, and it suddenly my backlog feels like so much more daunting than it ever did before.
That's the thing that makes me feel bad about introducing you to the Yakuza series because that's another like 10 games right there that you
Yeah.
may potentially fall into. The rest of them aren't turn-based, so you may or may not like it as much, but the story
I
and the
might.
humor, they're all there. So,
I think Yakuza 8 will probably determine whether or not I really want to go back and check out the originals. If
yes.
if Kiryu really just grabs my full attention, in that, then there's a good chance that my backlog will expand by a lot.
I wonder what kind of battle system they're going to do. I think they
I
have said something about like a hybrid kind of system, but
Okay.
I
I
don't
I wasn't
know.
sure if that was the case,
Yeah.
if they said something about it, or if it was us hypothesizing that they would alternate between turn-based and action for Kiryu versus,
Yeah.
because that would be really cool. It's
Ichiban.
like as you play as Ichiban, like you play turn-based, and then as you
Hmm.
control Kiryu, you go like full. But that's, I think, also a
That would be
subject that we talked about
crazy.
once, where we were talking about how hard it is to make one good battle system, let alone two, just makes it really difficult.
Yes, yes. I could have sworn they had said something, but memories kind of faulty. So I'm just going to wait until they have an official announcement. Probably 2 years down. I think this year they're gonna release there are two games that
The
they're working
prequel,
on.
yeah,
Yeah, the well, not really a prequel, but the in between game that explains
that's
like
the one.
Kiryu's disappearance. Then the next year should be Yakuza 8. So we'll see when that comes closer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yakuza 7.5, like a Lion King.
7.5.
Okay,
Yes. Okay. So next one we've got Ray Miyazaki, who said, I hyped to play Atelier Ryza 3, but when I got my hand on the copy and played for 2 hours, I got dizzy and nausea.
oh no,
The motion blur, especially when running, and the depth of field was unbearable. What's worse, there is no option to turn it off. Ooh,
oh
yeah.
no.
Yikes. Yeah. Ooh. God. So I'm guessing that they are playing on like the PlayStation or like some kind of console because
Probably not PC.
yeah,
Yeah,
typically PC would allow you to adjust these things. Well, then again, I don't know. Like I don't remember. I don't remember if they had something like that for Atelier Sophie, but boy, Ray, if you're listening right now, if I may recommend maybe selling that game, like if it's a hard copy, and then just getting one on PC
PC.
instead.
That'd be a
Yeah,
good idea. Yeah.
yeah, the other thing I wonder is like, well, if you're playing Rise of 3, like, did that issue happen in Rise of 1 and 2? Is this the 3 issue? I did ask in the comments, but it was like not that long ago, so that person probably hadn't had a chance to respond if they
Yeah.
plan on it at all. But yeah, that's what I wonder. So man, that's one thing that
It's pretty
still
rough.
keeps me from recommending wholeheartedly on consoles sometimes because they don't have these options sometimes. Yeah, it's kind of rough.
I've never heard of motion blur causing, and the depth of field, I guess, causing motion sickness, but I guess
Yeah, some people
must be a
get
thing.
pretty sensitive to
Yeah.
yeah, those things. Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, this might be an overgeneralization, but I would
Mhm.
feel like Japanese studios would tend to do better about helping prevent that, because motion sickness does tend to be more prevalent in Japan and Asia regions, as I understand
Hmm.
it. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's
No
a myth I heard
idea.
once. It's a myth I heard once. It could be true. Don't take it at face value. Hype
Yeah.
responsibly.
No, no.
But
Yeah, no idea. I don't have those issues. The only thing that I can't do is read in the car. Just never
Mhm.
read in the car. But otherwise, I don't get any issues with like playing games
Yeah,
or getting on roller coasters, like nothing like that. So yeah, but still, it sucks to hear. Hopefully, maybe if you get the PC version, it'll be better.
hmm. I hope so.
Yes, hope so.
All right. Well, we have another comment here from Go to Sleep 327, and I say, no, you can't make me resist the urge to go to sleep. They say, just FYI, it's not all reading and voice of cards. It's called voice because the game reads the story for you with only one narrator. They say they've played the first one, but it's short and a good turn-based RPG.
Yeah,
So.
it seems like the consensus on this game is that it's pretty good. So definitely, I mean, it's Yoko Taro. How bad could it be? How bad could it be?
Exactly.
Yeah. But I do think though that even if someone reads it to you, if it's very text heavy, like you're still going to like scroll your eyes through and read the text, like as opposed to like
I always
the show
do.
and not tell kind of deal, right? Where
that's one of the things actually.
Yeah.
One of my pro tips to actually enjoy and just absorb a lot of games better. If you're playing with an English dub, turn off subtitles if you can.
Just
Especially
look
for
away.
cutscenes, because that's one of the things that I just like. I'll be like watching a cutscene play out, and like there's something really important happening, but they'll be talking, and my eyes will be glued to the subtitles, and then I'll like glance up and I'll be like, "Oh crap, what did I just miss?" Yeah, turn off the subtitles. Just and watch and enjoy it that way. I mean, I guess there are some people who honestly, I have got some really good friends who watch everything with closed captions on, even though they're not like hearing impaired. They just like to be able to also read along.
Yeah.
So I guess for some people it's probably not a thing, but like if you ever find yourself in one of those situations where you're like, "Oh crap, I was accidentally reading the subtitles," just turn them off if you can.
Absolutely.
That's my pro tip.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like just listening along. Sometimes I won't even look at what I'm supposed to be looking at. I'm just listening to, because but that's the nice thing about not being forced to read a block of text. So I'm glad that that's not the case. But yeah, but check out Voice of Cards, guys. The bundle is out now.
Yeah. Now, also we got a voicemail. So again, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail, you may do so again at 785-337-3805, just like our buddy Sergey.
Hi there, Derek, Baku-san. It's me, Sergey from Vladivostok again. This time I have a better place to record instead of gym after my workout. So, recently I've seen that you took part in David Wing compilation about RPGs you regretted about. And my question is, are you going to invite some famous RPG-related YouTubers on your podcast? Not for a whole episode, but at least to take part for 5 or 15 minutes or so, just to speak about something, just to introduce and maybe new YouTubers who your audience doesn't know about. Once again, thank you again for your podcast. See ya.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, Sergey. So yeah, great question, and you actually reminded me that I did in fact take part in two different videos recently with other channels, which I mean maybe I should make my own video for my own channel at some point, because I feel like I've been slacking here for the last couple of weeks. But I did guest on a video from David Vink talking about my RPG regrets, and then Also, I have another one that's coming out here pretty soon. It's not out yet, but it's from Backlog Battle, so keep your eyes over on their channel as well.
Nice.
So, yeah. But he was asking about whether or not we'd have some guests on our show, and yeah, I think that that's something that I do want to eventually do. A way to sort of help give some people a platform, a lot of people who are just starting out or maybe have smaller audiences. But I've been going for a while. I've got several friends who I think would fit that bill. And the thing though, Baku and I were even kind of talking about it a little bit before the stream, and there's like some logistics issues involved in coordinating a second person. You guys know how often we like cancel a stream or move a stream just like because it's just two people can't coordinate a schedule. The more people you add to that, the harder it gets to coordinate. So there's the logistics of that. I'm definitely wanting to do it, but that's just one aspect. But then there's the other aspect of like, we do a lot of stuff talking about the news. So how would we incorporate another person into the show where we're talking about news in a way that's like topical? Or do we even just eschew that and say, hey, whatever, just come onto our show and we'll talk about games for a minute? And that would be fun too, I think. So I think though, what would probably, and just kind of like throwing out some ideas, I think that what would probably end up having to do just to help reduce the amount of coordination that would have to go into it is probably just pre-record something. And then we would just play, the pre-recorded segment on the show at some point. And then, while Baku and I go and grab a beer or something, which would be a lot of fun to be able to eventually do that. And I think that would also save me the headache and hassle of setting up extra scenes for like 3 or 4 or however many people would be on the show, different scenes in OBS. It's a little bit of a headache, right?
Yeah, I mean, the way that I imagine a collab would be you would actually be doing something different. Like reading news is tough to get another person to come in and not be bored out of their mind with us reading stuff.
Yeah. Especially with us talking about just who even knows what's going to be in the news every week. So like setting somebody up like, oh yeah, we're going to have you on to talk about, I don't know, something that hasn't happened yet.
We'll find out tomorrow.
Exactly.
If there's anything. Or we might just cancel, but we'll call you again next week. Yeah. No, but we could definitely be doing something.
Yeah. Anyways, there are things we definitely want to do. I think it sounds like a lot of fun, especially if we could even get some developers on the show to talk about their games that they're developing. That would be super cool. And I know that we have a couple who would be really excited to do that.
Yeah. Couple springs into my mind already.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be really awesome to do that. But we're not there yet. So keep watching. But I will also mention that Sergey also in their voicemail mentioned like some specific people as well. And I just wanted to say, that I trimmed it down a little bit, but I don't want to talk about anybody specifically. But yeah, I think that we will definitely bring on some people as soon as we're able. And yeah, that's it.
It's gonna be an exciting year.
Yeah,
it's all
new year, new hit point.
New year, new hit point. Yes.
All right. I'm tired of talking. So here, let's bring it over to the next section here. Updates for previous releases.
To talk some more.
All right. Do you want this next one here?
Yeah, sure. I'll take it. So let's talk about updates and all that fun stuff and DLCs. We do have a DLC coming up. Square Enix announced the official date for the Forspoken DLC in Tanto We Trust. Will be coming to all supported platforms in May 26th of this year. This DLC, the protagonist Frey will be traveling back in time, 25 years prior to the events of the game, to a time called the Purge of Reddick. I think that's how it's pronounced. Where it's a weird spelling. Well, she'll be joined by Tanta Cinta. So the Tantas are sort of the main protagonists in the Forspoken game. They're just like these. Yeah, they're antagonists. They're just like these like evil matriarchs that you learn about like as you go in. Tanta Cinta is one of the Tantas. I don't know her relationship, whether or not she is an antagonist per se, because I haven't played a game, so no worries about spoiler from what I just said. But you will be joined by her in this DLC. So I would assume that she'll be helping you along the way. Again, this is sort of a prequel in a way, chronologically speaking, to the base game, to an earlier time in their history. And not much else is known at this point, even though it's only like about a month or so out until the release. So hopefully it'll be a good one. I think the game deserves it. I've talked to a couple of friends who played the game, and they really liked the game. And a lot of people who didn't like it never even played the game, which is weird how you can dislike a thing so fervently without playing the thing. But people
Mhm.
will just dislike them sometimes. So
I mean, it's pretty wild though that I mean, so Forspoken did so poorly that basically the whole studio behind it kind of got reabsorbed into the rest of
yeah,
Square Enix.
big yikes.
It's pretty wild to me to see that
I
they're continuing their development promises for DLC. I mean, they did say that they would,
Mhm.
and I guess we kind of knew that this was coming. I'm just kind of like, why?
they've said that this game cost something like $100 million. I don't know if I believe in the figure. $100 million, it's a lot of money. I would believe like half of that. I would believe
Yeah.
$100 million though. I don't know. Like
They
Square
might
Enix,
be including some of the development of the uh of the engine in
so
that.
yeah,
Yeah. I
because that
wouldn't be
would
surprised if they included that in the figure.
have gone into like Final Fantasy 15 development costs, which I would believe, but $100 million total just for the game is,
Yeah.
man.
I don't know. It seems like some Hollywood accounting going on there, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like where did you spend all that money?
Where did it go? I mean, it was I thought it was fine. The game itself was like maybe not incredible, but it wasn't like,
Mhm.
burned to the ground sort of stuff. But
Yeah.
anyways, whatever. I'm surprised to see that like, continuing though, considering it did so lacklusterly that they decided, to shutter the studio. It's just strange to me. I mean,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean, I guess they made a promise and they're sticking to it, so kudos to that, I guess.
maybe they were pretty far along away with the DLC already, that they're just like, look, let's just finish it and try to get as much cash back as we possibly can.
Sunk cost fallacy.
Potentially.
I mean, hey, because here's the thing: who is going to buy it? It's not people who haven't already played Forspoken before. That's for sure. It's going to be the
Mhm.
people. It's going to be the subset of people who did buy the game, who then still really enjoyed it and didn't find it entirely irritating. So
Not necessarily, because I haven't played a game, but I want to play the game. So maybe
okay,
future people who would play the game eventually, but maybe
maybe.
that's probably a much smaller population of people.
Yeah, it's slim
Yeah.
pickings is kind of all I'm saying. So the fact that
Oh,
the
absolutely.
game itself took 100 million to make, I mean,
Ugh. Yeah.
what's
Well,
the DLC going to cost them to make? 1 million? How many copies are they going to have to sell in order to recoup the costs?
oh man, it's yeah. I still don't believe in the 100 million figure.
Yeah.
That number has floated around. I when I heard it, I'm like,
100,
yeah, that doesn't
100
sound right.
million
Yeah.
yen.
Yeah,
100
100
million
million
yen.
yen, maybe. Yeah, 100 million yen would just be like $1 million. Actually, no, that'd be way
Be
too
10.
low.
Yeah, okay. That would be pretty low. Yeah.
Yeah, $1 million to make a game. Yeah, please.
All right.
All
Well, hey,
right.
we did have another bit of DLC news to talk about while we are on the subject, and that
Mhm.
has to do with One Piece Odyssey.
Yes.
Bandai Namco have announced a new DLC for their recently released One Piece Odyssey game called Reunion of Memories. The DLC will have the Straw Hat crew back in Memoria, confronting a character who resembles Lim, but in black clothing.
Yes.
You want to take a look at the trailer?
Let's do it. They
All right.
made a trailer. They made a trailer.
DLC trailer. They didn't do
DLC
that
trailer.
for Forspoken.
But this is Bandai Namco. It's also a really well-made trailer. It helps to have all the voice actors,
Yeah.
the highly recognizable voices.
It's Negalim.
Yes.
I mean, Lim is like right there. Like, it's
This
like, are you really
trailer
Lim? No, clearly it's not.
It's better than some like full-length game trailer,
Wow, look at that. Listen to that music though.
right? I mean, if you liked One Piece Odyssey as a turn-based RPG, well, prepare for more to come. I'm actually pretty excited for this because it feels like this is one of the few tie-in games that aren't like, I don't know, like a fighting game that actually did pretty well, like respectably well.
Yeah.
It only took a series like One Piece to do it. I'm kind of hoping that this becomes more of a common occurrence of like just good, what is it called? Like good tie-in games to come.
Yeah. I hope that that is a sign of, more things to come. That would be pretty awesome. I mean,
Yes.
God, can you imagine?
Well, I mean, it's
I
good
mean, we've
enough that
already
they
we've
had a
done
DLC
several
for it.
discussions on this already about, tie-in games we would like to see, games done well. Like
Yes.
we've beaten this dead horse.
Yeah.
It's this horse is so dead and beaten that its children are feeling sore.
But yeah, just happy to see that this game actually got good results. Well, good enough results anyways, that they're actually releasing a DLC.
Yeah. I mean, I think
Yes.
they were I feel like at this point DLCs are kind of like planned months in advance. Hence, the whole thing with
What, Forspoken?
Forspoken. Yeah, but anyways, let's talk about some games that are coming out this week.
Heck yeah, let's do it. This is actually, well, these are actually from previous week, because we didn't have the show,
Oh,
but they're still relevant and we're still going to talk about it. So, Sega released a new adventure game called Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog as part of its April Fool's Day 2023 surprise. The jokes are all there, but this game is very much a real thing that you can download for free on Steam.
huh.
So you guys, if you're a Sonic fan and you haven't done this already, first of all, are you really a Sonic fan if you haven't done this already? Even I download the game and I don't even care about Sonic. It's free.
The funny thing is, like, if this was a whodunit, the jokes write themselves. It's like, oh my god, who murdered Sonic the Hedgehog? Oh, why, it's Sega.
Oh wow! There's a trailer to this joke game, which is, yeah, it's a real thing. You can actually download it.
I have
no,
not seen this.
is,
Let's check out the trailer.
yeah. This
That
is
sounds absolutely bizarre, and I
me
kinda love
telling
the
you
idea.
is real is not part of the April Fool's joke. It's April 9th. This is real. You could just go look at it. Go download it yourself. It's a thing.
Oh god, you know what I just remembered? Last year, do you remember our April Fool's episode?
Oh yeah, I remembered it, and I was like, should I call up Derek to record one since
No.
we weren't doing anything?
No, we should not. That was, I think, a bad choice.
So yeah, it's like a visual novel. I mean, it's a free game. What do you expect? It's probably going to be super short. But I think it's fun for fans just to,
Sure. That looks kind of cool.
play around. The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog for free. It's free. Yeah, so that came out on April 1st, for April Fools.
That's pretty
Yeah.
wild, actually.
Yeah. I'm all
right.
for like just free like game, if you will, for the fans. I think another free game that came out that was kind of in the similar vein was the I Love Colonel Sanders game from KFC. KFC
Oh,
released the
God,
game.
Yeah.
That game was hilarious. It was a thing. And actually, no, it's still a thing. You could still download that. So yeah, I think it's something similar where it's basically what is it called? An advertisement, if you will, for the franchise. But it's free and you get that fun. It's kind of win-win. Just give it a shot if you're a fan.
Man, for some reason, when I saw that, that imagery of Sonic just like laying dead, limp. You know, it just
Sega,
reminded me a little
how
bit
could
of.
you?
It reminded me of the famous Yamcha pose.
Oh.
I was like, oh man, they should totally do a Dragon Ball game like that.
Oh man, that would also write itself.
It'd be great. But you know what? You know what else would be great? Guitars. A lot of guitars.
Lots of guitars.
Infinite guitars, in fact. Humble Games and Nico Nico have released the rhythm RPG Infinite Guitars.
In a world shredded by the devastating war against the mechs, the remnants of humanity scavenge to fight, and survive. Now, the metal war machines have reawakened, and only your electric guitar can turn the technology against them.
Can you imagine? I thought we talked about this, like a rhythm RPG. Oh, this is
there have been a
now.
couple. There have been a couple
Yeah.
so far. But let's check out the trailer for this one because this seems interesting.
So, like, the thing I didn't like about this trailer, let me tell you, is I couldn't find a good like battle mechanics like overview. I feel like this is
Yeah.
how you not do a trailer.
Yeah.
Like they do show some things, but like
It does not show combat. Well, it doesn't show like how combat looks between. Like I assume that like you choose an attack and then you do a riff, right? That's what
Yes.
it seems like.
if it's a skill that requires it, not every skill has that like riff.
Does it not?
Yeah, when enemies attack, you have to dodge, and like that's kind of rhythm.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's turn based. And also in the overworld, you have to like dodge those like rings.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some like action elements, but the battle is turn based. It looks really cool. I really like the art. Like I don't necessarily know what you would call this, but I just really like the look of it. It's different, but in a good way, right?
Yeah.
And it's not that expensive either. It's an indie game charging indie prices. So yeah.
You gotta appreciate that. And the game
Yeah.
is currently immediately available on Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. So
That's right. Yes.
go check it out if that looked like that might be up your alley.
Yes. All right. Next up, we got a new game, a new visual novel detective puzzle game called Process of Elimination, and that's coming to PS4, Switch, and PC on the 11th. So what, in about 3 days, this
All
game is
right.
coming out. This game has a grid-based system that allows you to control detectives to look for clues and perform analyses. I think that's sort of like the new thing that they're trying here with this game. Whereas other detective puzzle games is more like just click and point on a map, and this actually have you go on a grid. Which is interesting coming from Nippon Ichi. So we can
Yeah.
take a look at what they call the demo trailer, and where they explain a little bit of how the game works.
Okay. Yeah, let's take a look at this.
It's a relatively long trailer, so we might break at some point.
Skip around a little bit. Yeah.
So
There have been a lot of detective-based RPGs lately, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like a new aesthetic. You like remember back in the 2000s, there were something like 4 or 5 different PS2 RPGs that were all like island themed,
Mm-hmm.
and they all
That's
kind of came out
right.
around the same time, like around the same time as like Final Fantasy X.
That's a thing that happens with like media in general. I
Yeah.
forgot what video I was watching, but they were talking about like very similar movies coming out around the same time, like Ants Life and Ants.
Yeah.
Like that was like a good example. It came right around the same time
Uh-huh.
with a very similar premise.
Yeah, just naturally kind
yeah.
of, except I think the story of Ants was also talking about basically overthrowing the ruling class in favor of, seizing the means of production. But, it's
Right.
ants. It's,
It was Ants.
which is kind of funny if you think about it, and given ants as a society and how they work.
We're all ants. We're all ants.
But anyway, yeah, there was like a bunch of different island-based RPGs, and suddenly it feels like there's a bunch of detective-themed ones. You know, there's the new one from like the Danganronpa developers.
Oh yeah. Spike Chunsoft.
Yeah. There's that
Yeah.
one. And then there's
That one's Code Rain.
yeah, and
Yeah,
then
there are a good amount of these.
There's the really cool looking one from
Decapolice.
yeah, Decapolice.
Yeah.
And then there's Trails from Zero and Trails to Azure. Okay, that's probably sure maybe that's
Slight
stretching a little
stretch. Yeah. Well, that's Judgment, which is kind of the detective take on Yakuza game.
bit. Yeah.
Sure, that's the actual thing. I've been told that the story in Judgment is a lot more serious than Yakuza. I'm like, what? How can you be more serious than Yakuza? It's a bunch of like tattooed men killing each other. Like what?
Okay, Reverie is just around the corner, and it also has a ace detective as a protagonist.
Is that right?
I mean, it's not a new ace detective, but you know.
Yeah, so this is what they meant by like grid based. Like you move the characters around in a
Yeah.
grid, and like some characters are faster, some characters are smaller, some characters have like larger area of
Areas of-
influence, if you will. Some characters excel in certain skills and others do not. So you have to strategize on like how to move them around effectively and efficiently
Okay.
to gather and analyze evidence.
Mhm.
Before I think before certain time like limit, if you will.
What's
You
I
get
think what's
mystery
throwing me off a
points.
little bit here is it's showing the grid, and the grid, you know, it's fine. It's a grid. Is everything gonna
No,
look
no,
out
that's not
plain
the
grid?
actual map.
Okay. There will be
Yeah, the
actual maps with things in it
Yes.
too. Like, okay,
Correct.
I was like,
This is
okay,
just. Oh boy! You know what? I did think the entire game was like this for a second when I was watching this. I was like, is this how the entire game looks? Because man, that's low budget. But no, there's an actual mention that these detectives have all gathered in. Basically, I think there are 14 of them, and then like someone dies in there, and then they realize that there's a traitor among them, and like
and maybe that's one
the
of the
story.
maybe that's the impetus for a lot of these like whodunit detective style
Yes.
games is the wild success of you know, that imposter game, whatever that was
I
called.
think it's fun. All right.
That's a throwback, by the way, for anybody who got my last stream. Like, I couldn't remember the name of Among Us for whatever reason, so I just kept calling it that imposter game.
What the manga?
No, Among Us. The game, I couldn't remember what it's called.
Oh,
So I just kept on calling it, you know, the game with
Among
the
Us,
imposters.
yes.
You gotta find the imposter.
very
you know.
sus. You're sus.
You're very suspicious.
Sus. But yeah,
Indeed.
this is what the game is like.
Mm.
There you go. Well, we
Well, we
actually
managed
watched
to
the
just-
whole.
I was
We
gonna say-
watched the whole thing.
We did. I was like, well, we managed to just kind of talk through the whole thing. That's a very interesting trailer, though, and music that I could hear was pretty low, you know, for obvious reasons. I was trying to circumnavigate, you know, YouTube copyright stuff, but
It was pretty good, right?
yeah, it's not bad. Little jazzy, you know. I'm always fun for a little bit of jazz. But,
Yes. All
so-
right. The game
well-
comes out in 3 days on PS4,
days.
Switch, and PC.
Cool. All right. This one's a big one. All right, guys. On the 14th, Mega Man Battle Network Legacy Collection.
Oof.
Volume 1 and 2 will be released on PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam. There are 10 games in all. But in Volume 1, we will get Mega Man Battle Network 2, then Blue and White. Volume 2, though, will contain Battle Network 4, 5 Team Colonel, 5 Team Proto Man, 6 Psybeast Falzar, 6 Psybeast Gregar, and Battle Network 7.
That's a lot of games.
That's a lot of games. And now
People are going to be very busy with this.
So I think that I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that some of these that have a very similar name, like, Network 3, Blue and White, I'm guessing that's kind of like, Pokemon, right?
They try to
Red
do
and Blue.
that, yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
tried their
exactly.
hand.
Yeah.
So
I'm guessing it didn't, and it didn't do too well for them.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, keep that in mind as you play through them. So they say it's 10 games, but realistically, unless you just feel like being one of those kinds of people who plays them both so they can trade with themselves or whatever. That is actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 games. Yeah.
We're not going to judge you.
Yeah.
Absolutely will not judge you.
I'm not judging. I'm just saying, if you're a
good.
completionist who, and I don't even know. Is there even trading in this game?
Yes, there is.
Oh, okay. Well,
Yes.
good. So, yeah, I'm not judging then. If you're a completionist, then at least you have, gosh, Kate, here's the real question. Can you trade with yourself with the collection, though?
If you have 2 Switches.
Oh, that's dirty. Do you have to buy the game twice? I hope not.
You probably do, because it's tied to your account, isn't it? Because it's digital only.
Oh my
right?
gosh.
Mm.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, let's see. Where else are we? Okay, so yeah. The collections will support online play for net battle and trade. Oh, hey, there is trade. And they will contain all 499 patch cards.
Yes.
That is included in the special tie-in cards that were regional exclusive. Oh, that includes, by the way, the ones that are region exclusive. And the new Buster Max mode that allows you to breeze through the story if you so choose.
Yes.
And we got a trailer. You want to see the trailer?
Yes. Let's do it.
All right.
So
Trailer.
So the Buster Max mode basically gives you this like ultra strong weapon that you can equip on Mega Man. Just like one hit kills everything.
Oh,
so
cool.
you just want to blast through. You literally want to just blast through some of these games. You certainly can. They give you the means to do it.
I kind of
because that's a lot of games.
It is. So again,
look, private match. You can just play against a friend.
So it's Network 1,
and
Network
public
2,
match.
Network 3, Network 4, Network 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah, they're literally 7 different games.
Yeah.
3 of them have 2 versions.
Yeah. That's a lot of games. That's how much are they selling this for, do you know?
I don't remember. I looked it up earlier, but I forgot. Tetris.
Oh, well, hey, that's an 8th game right there. That's infinite replay value right there, buddy.
Oh man.
Oh my god. Let me tell you.
I think online play is gonna help this along. I think that would be really fun with like modern technology, especially where you can just like fight against people online. Could be really fun.
Oh man.
It looks really good for like a retro game.
Pre-orders start. Oh, they're done. I was gonna say pre-orders start on December. Wait. That is no longer applicable.
It's coming out in a couple of days. You could just buy it when it comes out.
Yeah. So, that's the trailer. Side note: Capcom USA, also kind of an unrelated news. They've uploaded 98 episodes of Mega Man NT Warrior onto their official YouTube channel, so you can watch them for free. They are English dubbed. Unfortunately, no subtitles.
Yes.
And automatic closed captions isn't perfect, but it is there if you want that.
Yeah.
So pretty
So
cool.
in case you are like, I don't know, like in case you have like hearing issues, closed caption is it's nice.
Yeah. Or if you're one
Yeah.
of those people like my friends who like to just watch everything with closed captions on.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, 98 episodes. Count it, man. It's pretty cool.
That's wild, actually.
Yeah.
That is. How many minutes is that?
They're like 20-minute episodes,
Yeah.
so you do the math.
Oh, that's
that
only
times 20 amount
Yeah.
of minutes.
Yeah. That's only about 32 hours of content for you to watch right now for
free.
I mean, I don't know if
Watch
it's any good or not, but that's a
anytime.
lot.
I think these aired on like US like national TV. Like that's the version that got aired.
Sure, but I mean, like, was it on
so-
4Kids or was it like Toonami?
I am pretty sure it's for kids, but I could be wrong.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
let's see
cool
let's see
anyway.
what chat says. Chat's gonna know.
Yeah.
Chat knows everything.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, but 98 episodes for free is, I mean, look, if you're a Mega Man fan, that's something you can really sink a good like 2-3 weekends on, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Oh.
that does it for the games that are coming out this week. But now it's time to
Yes.
talk about some of the games that were announced, or rather, announcements about some new games and such. So let's
Yes.
dive into some of that.
All right. Well, this isn't such a new game. In fact, this came out about 2 months ago. Binary Haze Interactive announced that their latest tactical RPG, Redemption Reapers, will be coming to PS5 later in July of
Has
this
it
year.
already been 2 months since that came out?
Well, more like I think this. I think Redemption Reaper came out like late February. So
Okay.
if you
Okay.
really count the days, then maybe not so much.
Sure.
Yeah, more like a month and a half at most.
That's
Still, it's been
time
a
is
little
flying.
bit.
That's all I'm coming
Time is
down to.
flying.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. This game is immediately available on PS4, Switch, and PC. And as a bonus, for anyone who owns the PS4 version, the PS5 version will be free.
I love that.
So,
Can
yeah.
every time somebody offers that free upgrade, that just gives me the warm fuzzies.
Right. There is something that I forgot to write down, and that is there is a hard physical version coming out, but only in Asia and in Japan. They're actually delaying that so that they can patch the game up, so that the newest patch will be in the physical version. So I think
okay.
that's a good reason to delay a physical release.
For
Because
sure.
we've talked about that before, right? Where like, oh, you get a physical copy, that's all you get, and like years down the road, when like
When
all
the services are gone.
servers are gone, how are you gonna patch it? It's like, oh, well, okay, we're gonna throw all the newest stuff possible onto the physical thing, so we're gonna delay the physical. That's like a good guy move. So I applaud them for doing that.
That would be an interesting take. Imagine more game developers and studios start doing that. They just release everything digitally initially,
Mhm.
and then once all of the DLCs, once all of the patches are done, then they release the physicals as like collector's editions.
That might not be a terrible idea, but
I know.
also don't give them any ideas.
I know. It would be terrible and awesome at the same time, because that would do two things. First,
Mhm.
it would funnel more people toward the digital side of things, right?
Which they really want.
Yes, that is exactly what they want.
Yes.
But then they would also, for the people for the ones who eventually do make the collector's editions, that would make
Mhm.
them so happy. Except for the fact that they wouldn't be able to play the games, except for the ones who are crazy enough to get the digital version and then the physical, and then keep the physical sealed.
I'm worried that they're gonna hire you as like a evil consultant at an evil corporation, Enix.
I should grow up my full goatee and pitch that idea. Because
at a board meeting.
exactly. They'd be like, sales are down. What do we do?
Well,
I have an idea.
I can see it now. Oh my god, this is your true calling.
If only I could be that maniacal and evil genius with my own marketing.
I know. You're sitting on a gold mine. All you have to do is sell your soul, Derek. All you have to do is sell your soul.
Well, I mean, can I sell somebody else's soul? That would work easier.
Potentially. Just have to make a deal with the devil.
But yeah, the people behind Redemption Reapers, we don't really know much about Binary Haze, but they do seem to be doing some good guy Greg stuff, you know?
Yeah.
If I may,
Pretty good.
if I may recall to that the old meme.
Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing that they did that I applaud them for was, so they released the game in February. They only announced the game in December. So it's not like you're waiting like 6 months, a year. No, it's like you wait 2 months. Like December, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we got a new game coming out. It's coming out in 2 months. See you later. That's
Yeah.
it. Like no fluff. And then like about a month in, they gave us like a teaser trailer, and then in 2 weeks they gave us another trailer, and then 2 more weeks, boom, the game comes out.
They are not blowing all of their money on marketing campaigns. I can tell you that much.
Yeah, well,
so
that's for a fact.
I mean, they're kind of an underground studio at this point. I'd say check it out just to support these guys because they seem to be doing some really solid practices for us gamers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of solid for us gamers, I guess. I don't know how to segue this. But anyways, Live Alive is coming to PS4, PlayStation 5, and PC.
Yes.
Sweet.
Yes.
And we have a trailer for it too. Live Alive
Yes.
is a really cool game, by the way. I've not played the HD 2D remaster of it. Not remaster, remake. But it is such a cool game. If you're into Octopath Traveler 2, this is sort of like an ancestor to that series, I think, because it contains
looks so
8 different
good.
characters covering 8 completely separate stories, and they all kind of encompass different like genres of storytelling as well. Completely different gameplay method. Like you can see it's semi-tactical, grid-based combat. Not super deep from what I recall from it, but I think this is definitely worth checking out for anybody who is just looking for something a little bit different, because it is different for sure. Have you played this before, Baku?
I have not, and I've been waiting for. I've been waiting to see about the ports before I make a decision, and I actually just bought the game today.
Oh,
So more on that in a second.
sweet.
More on that in a second.
Well,
Talk
in that
about
case, everybody.
where that decision comes from.
In that case, everybody, don't bother shaming Baku on Twitter, as I was going to initiate. Instead, praise Baku on Twitter, everybody. He's a good boy. He deserves some praise.
I bought the game. Now let me show you all the games I've bought that I haven't played yet. Including all of Trails of Cold Steel. All 4 games in the back.
Oh, well. By the way, I finally got the other 2 remaining copies of Cold Steel for PS4. I'm very excited
Nice.
about that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was worried about not being able to get a hard copy because people just like the game so much. So I just got it when I get the chance. I see a discount, I see use when I'm like snatch it up real fast because like this game is going to go up in value, I feel.
I got Cold Steel 3, 4. Cold Steel 4, the collector's edition off of Play Asia.
Okay.
And the European region one for
Nice.
for like $30.
Oh wow, that's a good price.
Yes, I'm very excited about that. I'm very happy with that. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Side note, what was this? Okay, ports will be coming out on the 27th, 2023. Pre-orders are available now with a 20% discount. Baku says he was not able to find physical pre-order for PlayStation, so that might be a Switch-only option, though.
Which is why I bought the game today, because I was thinking about it and I'm like, okay, some people might be holding out to see about the ports, like me, and would be disappointed to find out that there isn't a PlayStation physical version. So if they are really insistent on getting a physical copy, they might just go with the Switch version. So then I just logged on to Amazon. I'm like, okay, give me a copy of this. Also, I saw one for use that was a pretty reasonable price. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna jump on this today. So, if you guys are able to find a PlayStation like physical copy for Live Alive, let us know. But I truly could not find it. Usually when they open for pre-order, especially during the month when the game should go on sale, you should see like the physical pre-order on major retailers, if nothing else. But no, that was not even a cover art, nothing. Just could not find anything that talks to
Lame.
physical release. Yeah, but I could be wrong. So
Yeah, I hope that they do. That would be nice.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Absolutely. But if I am not wrong, then Switch may very well be the only option if you really insist on physical copy, like myself, because I just really like having physical games.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Speaking of physical game, this is not one of those. Square Enix also announced that the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster digital games will be coming to PS4 and the Switch. In a surprising twist, Square Enix may have actually taken in feedback from fans and added new font and soundtrack options.
Oh my God.
Wow. Square Enix listening to fans? What?
I know. What is
In a rare move.
I don't even feel like I know who they are anymore.
What? Yeah, that's right. The new font option allows you to switch between god-awful font and slightly better font. As for the soundtrack option, you get to listen to the original soundtrack or the remaster soundtrack, which I personally didn't find it to be terrible. And in fact, I quite like the remaster soundtrack. But hey, if you just really like the old soundtrack, nothing wrong with that. That's very subjective. You can now switch to the original soundtrack and don't have to deal with the remaster. So if you just if that was like the thing that has really held you back from getting this Pixel remaster, because you just can't stand that new sound,
Or that
now you can go
or
back.
that font.
Or that font.
Yeah. So
for that matter.
I mean, that's really cool. I think that we already kind of suspected that they were going to do something similar to this, and we talked about that because kind of the big news around the time that they announced these coming to the West was then they started tearing down pictures that contained the font. You remember that?
Yeah.
Square Enix would go through all their marketing materials and they removed all of the pictures of the game that had the font. So it was like either one of two things. Are they changing the font and didn't want to give people the wrong impression? Or are they just trying to hide the fact that they farted in the elevator? Like it's like one of the two. Which one was it? So I'm very glad to find out that this is a very well aerated elevator. Yeah, very well ventilated elevator that we were sitting in.
That's right.
Yeah, it might have stunk for a minute, but things are going to get, better.
Yeah, I feel better about it now that they fixed the font and whatnot. I mean, I still not want to get the bundle? Yes, because I feel like they haven't put enough effort to justify all this additional cost. I mean, they removed a lot of additional content, which I am not happy about. Like, say, for example, Final Fantasy 6, which is my absolute favorite and is the best Final Fantasy. If anyone tells you anything else, they're just wrong. No, very biased. But you know, in FF6 and GBA, there are additional content that they release. Same with FF5, there are additional content in GBA. So that's typically in the fandom. That's typically where we point to for like definitive editions.
Yeah.
So if the intention was the Pixel Remaster to be the definitive edition, it only makes sense to just include those editions in there and not treat it like, oh, these are just like new age like things that we've added that we're not proud about. It's like, well, you've already developed them.
Yeah.
Like it was good enough to be released. Fans like it, so I just don't understand why they wouldn't include those. But you would fix the music. Right. So it's like what are you trying to do? Like, are you trying to do an authentic take or are you trying to, I don't know what they're doing. But in any case, look, it's still good for game preservation. So I'm still happy in that sense. So additional things that I want to talk about real quick is that there are some other QOL options, quality of life, like boosting XP. So maybe you can get like double XP or something, so you can like to kind of like speed through the game a little bit more, especially like for certain Final Fantasy 2, where you basically have to keep hitting yourself. So now you can hit yourself less. Hey, and also turning off random encounter, which at certain points of yet another Final Fantasy, was it 3? I think it was 3. Where it gets annoying. It's like 2 steps battle, 2 steps battle, 2 steps battle. Now you can turn that off.
I'm just really
turn
glad.
it back on.
I'm still very glad though that the physical versions are also available on PlayAsia.
Yes.
So yeah.
Is this still out? Is this still available?
I think so, or at least they were. I don't know if they still are. Let me check.
Yeah. Okay, well, while you do that, I do want to mention that it is currently unclear whether or not these changes, the new font, the soundtrack, the QOL options that I just talked about, we're not very certain if those things are coming to the PC version, which would kind of sting because, that's where a lot of the fans had already bought their games, is on the PC. So if these shiny new things aren't patched into the PC version, and it would be so easy to do, that would be another bad guy Square Enix move, in my opinion. Yes, there are fan patches for sure, but nothing like the official thing, because not everyone knows how to patch stuff or feels comfortable patching things.
All right, so it looks like they are still available for pre-order.
No, interesting.
They are $80.
$90.
It's only the Switch version that's available for pre-order, though, not PS4.
Oh, that's gone now.
Yeah, I mean I think that what ended up happening was they actually had pre-orders for PS4, but then they got
canceled it, right? Oh, yeah. Okay, now I remember.
Yeah.
Wow, Switch is the only way to get physical games. What is going on?
But
are we having
crazy.
a thing with Blu-ray disc not being available? What's going on?
Blu-ray disc shortage.
Yeah.
But I will say it's nice though that I will be able to have all Final Fantasies 1 through 12 on a single console now.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? What a time we live in.
I know. It's
consolidating. We do have a trailer. You want to take a look at the trailer?
Oh yeah, sure. Let's take a look at that.
Just so we can, it's an excuse to listen to Final Fantasy music.
Pretty much.
That's still really
Square, don't DMCA me. That's very quiet. Oh, there it is.
Can you imagine getting DMCA over this? This is literally just every Final Fantasy's opening.
I know.
Come on, Square Enix.
Oh my God, though. This hits me every time.
Mm-hmm. I get a little teary-eyed when I hear it because it's oh God, that only happens after the end of the journey, right?
Yeah. Also, I have some really strong memories of this game, of the series, tied to... Did you ever watch game trailers back in the day? GameTrailers.com?
No.
They had... It was around the time YouTubers started getting pretty quality work on YouTube, but game trailers, they did this series of retrospectives that
Ah.
and Final Fantasy 1 through whatever was one of my favorite things to watch. Just the old standby, and I would rewatch those. And GameTrailers.com, man, they were a huge inspiration for my channel and my style of delivery for a long time. But man,
you know what? I tell you what, that like extra money thing would be really helpful for me if I were to be doing Forge Fiesta. Because I hate grinding money on doing Forge Fiesta on Final Fantasy V when I have to do the Omega. Like when I don't know if you guys know what the Forge Fiesta is, but it's basically like a fundraising thing that's annual, where you abide by certain kind of like self-imposed rule as you play Final Fantasy V, like job restrictions and what have you.
Yeah.
That's like the gist of it. But there are 2 super bosses in there. And what a lot of people will do is once you raise a certain amount of money, you will pledge to fight those boss and take as much time as you need with the party constraint that you have. So you're locked to certain skills and you have to get creative on how to fight the boss. And sometimes money really helps on getting some of those gears. And so that's going to save a lot of time on just grinding for those money. The strategy doesn't change. It's still going to be extremely difficult because they're super bosses even when you have all the jobs to your disposal. When you only have 4 jobs and none of the stats that you can get from mastering other jobs, you can't grind that way. Like there's only so much you can do. So gear becomes extremely important, and money gets really tight.
Yeah, I would definitely want to turn up that because I like to escape from reality, and grinding for money is just too real, man.
Oh God, yeah. So I would be abusing that. So that might be my new go-to when Final Fantasy, when Forge Fiesta comes around, I might go to that. All right. Yeah. So the game is coming out on April 19th. Again, these are all digital. So yeah, can't wait to see that.
All right. Well, next up, NISA, NIS of America, have announced the release date for Rhapsody. I almost said Rhapsodia. That's not it. Rhapsody, Marl Kingdom Chronicles with their newest trailer. The collection will contain 2 games: Rhapsody 2, Ballad of the Little Princess, and Rhapsody 3, Memories of Marl Kingdom. And we have a trailer for that as well. You want to see this?
Always with the trailers. Let's do it.
Always with the trailers.
Always with the trailers.
Let's go trailer time.
Rhapsody 2, Ballad of the Little Princess. I may not look it, but I'm Marl Kingdom's princess. All right.
God, I love the art style.
I had no
Looks so
idea
good.
the outside world was so
Yeah,
beautiful.
this is if
Let's go
this is
do it.
PS1, right? I'm not crazy.
Oh yeah, that definitely looks like PS1.
Okay.
Remember, Kururu, take the initiative.
I like that they didn't smudge over the pixels or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice and sharp. And it looked like at the beginning there were some scan lines, so maybe they have some sort of scan line filter option available. That would be pretty nice.
This is great.
How utterly
Ooh, evil people.
PlayStation 1 era.
It's
God,
great.
I love it.
Kingdom Chronicles.
don't even need to say what we're laughing about.
Coming August 29th to Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 5,
Certain art style that isn't making a comeback, that's for sure. Yes.
Classic.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, what a what a
Only the
fun,
90s or early 2000s.
what
Yes.
a
Okay.
fun what a fun thing.
Fun time.
Yeah. So the game comes out on the 29th of August here in the United States, and
That's
a few
right.
days later over there in the European Union,
Mhm.
and on the 8th of September for Australia, New Zealand.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And on PlayStation 5, Nintendo Switch, and PC via Steam.
That's right. All right. And that's pretty much all the new game announcements that we've got. I mean, there's a certain remaster that has been floated around, but and if you know it, you know it. But it's only for Japan, and you know our rules. If it's not available to us yet, then we're probably not going to talk about it yet. But hey, as soon as they tell us that yes, there's an international release, here's the date, we'll come back and we'll be talking about it. And actually, and I mean, the game in question is called Blaze Union, which is interesting.
I was gonna say, what's it called? Because I'm not ringing any bells, but okay.
Yep. No,
Gotcha.
they said that Blaze Union's coming, but they've only announced Japan. So I'm well, we'll come back to it when they give us an international release, just in case anyone goes like, why didn't you talk about Blaze Union? Because it's not available worldwide.
No,
they've only announced
it's okay
the
to
Japanese
mention
date.
Blaze Union. I mean, I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. I mean,
Never.
we did say that we'll be talking about some rumors in previewing trailers.
Oh,
do you want to talk about another rumor that I've heard getting kicked around?
What, the Sony handheld?
No. The alleged leak of some PlayStation 3, or not PlayStation 3, of some Persona 3 remake footage.
Oh,
I haven't actually seen it or anything. I'm kind of living under a rock, but apparently there's some rumors going around that there's a full Persona 3 remake being made, and some of the footage apparently leaked. I don't know. It wasn't leaked by Nvidia, so I don't trust it.
You know, I honestly would not be too surprised. Like, look, I didn't like Persona 3 personally, but according to a poll done recently in Japan, at least, Persona 3 is the number one Persona. Not 4, not 5, and not the first two, but number 3.
I'm not surprised. And here's why I'm not surprised. The Persona series trails behind the SMT series in Japan. The Persona series really only gained a foothold here in the West. So we're
interesting.
Here in the States, we're the diehard Persona fans, you know, because it appeals to our weeby sensibilities, if you will. And I can say that it's my word. We can
yes. but in Japan it's SMT. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's that little dichotomy. So I don't know if I mean, sure, maybe Persona 3 is more beloved in Japan because of, you know, being a little more closely, you know, SMT-ish at times. Maybe
isn't 1 and 2 more SMT than 3?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. But anyways, it kind of, you know, that's before it kind of really sparked off into its own directions.
That's true.
Further and became a little lighthearted. I mean,
lighthearted.
Persona 4 is still not that lighthearted, but it
people
has
are
the
dying
appearance
left and right, but
of being lighthearted. But
it's Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo gang. But people actually die.
It's a detective RPG. It's a whodunit.
Oh no, it really is.
I know.
All right. Ready for industry news?
I'm ready.
All right. So, some good news, because we're going to leave Derek with the bad news. Let's talk about the Tales series, because Good Guy Bandai Namco just added 4 soundtracks to different music streaming services like Apple Music, Spotify, and YouTube Music. So now you can listen to the OSTs for Tales of Rebirth, Tales of the Tempest, Tales of Legendia, and Tales of Innocence, along with, I think there were like another like 9 soundtracks that's already been completely uploaded. I mean, you can basically listen to it on YouTube Music for free. So with ads, or you pay for the subscription, and there'll be no ads. But yeah, they're all up there now. So I think that's pretty cool of them to do that. And I think, you know, other companies may want to consider doing that. I mean, the music is just sitting around, like collecting dust.
Yeah,
they can sell soundtracks, but you know what? Like the modern consumption habit is, streaming. You know, Spotify. Yeah, we stream music, right? So why not just add it to YouTube Music and just let it
collect
like
the ad
print
revenue,
money for
sure.
you. Yeah, why not? Yeah.
I mean,
So
I think that, I mean, in Japan, music is treated very differently. Even now,
no, I think they've really caught on with Apple
have they?
Music. Oh
Because
yeah.
for the longest time, the music industry had so much power in Japan, and
Right?
that's why
Yeah.
like everything like it's like $50 for a soundtrack. It's like
Mhm.
crazy, but
Yeah. No, I think time has really changed. Like everything
good.
is digital. Yeah. So I think especially over the pandemic, too,
Yeah.
a lot of things has turned to streaming, not just music, but like a lot of the live events,
Mm,
just everything just kind of went online and they just kind of embraced it.
good.
So obviously there's still going to be like the high fidelity guys who will insist on like LPs and CDs, but
That's me.
that's like not the majority of people. So
That's me. That's me. But I mean, Mhm.
audio files. But anyways, yeah. So that's 4 more soundtrack added to the list of growing collection that they are looking to do. We've talked about it sometime before. It's like Bandai Namco, like music. I think that's like the new thing. And they want to start adding more soundtrack to that collection. So look forward to it. Good job, Bandai Namco. Also, free for you to consume. Bandai Namco added all 11 episodes of Tales of Symphonia, the anime, on the official Tales YouTube channel. This time, no dubs, but comes with multiple language subtitles, including Korean and Chinese and obviously English and I think Spanish and German and French, like many different languages of subtitles. So not to worry if English is not your first language. You might be able to find. Chances are you will find something that works for you. So yeah, and it's all there. We're gonna link it in the description after the show. So be sure to check it out. I have never seen the Tales of Symphonia anime, so I'm kind of curious about it actually.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now is our chance. Now,
All right.
I will say, brace yourself for impact because everybody at home, sit down. If you're standing, sit down. If you're sitting, lay down because it is with a heavy heart that it is my sworn duty to inform you all that E3 has been canceled.
What?
Yeah. I know it may come as a real shock and
Shocker.
and
Yeah.
huge emotional damage that is sure to accompany this news. I just want you to know I was not involved in the decision, and yeah, it's yeah, that's it.
It was me. I did it.
Damn it, Baku.
I canceled E3 single-handedly. Yeah.
Well, somebody
they-
had to do it. Old Yeller was looking a little foamy at the mouth, you know what I mean? So there's no reasons have been given for the cancellation, but it may have to do with, major companies announcing that they are not going to be going, including the likes of Microsoft,
only
Sony.
Microsoft, only Sony.
Nintendo,
Who even is
Sega.
Nintendo?
Ubisoft, Tencent.
Yep. Okay. So literally the biggest game makers are not coming. Great.
Yeah. This is like, imagine throwing a party for like, you're throwing yourself a birthday party and all your family RSVPs. No. That's kind of what happened.
That
It's
stings.
Like,
That's gotta sting. Yeah.
Okay. But for real, I don't think at this point any of us are really mourning the loss.
Yeah.
Because E3 has been kind of garbage for a while. And it has just become less and less relevant. That said, I cannot watch its passing without, just thinking about some of the history of why I used to love E3. Like it was a thing that it was an event. I mean, like legitimately it's an event, sure. But it was also for gamers around the world back before the advent of online streaming. it was the time that you would like maybe have a chance to actually just flip on, G4 or something and see some really cool stuff coming down the line.
G4.
Yeah, if you were one of those lucky kids who actually had G4 because your parents got the extended cable, that wasn't me. But I could sometimes watch the uploads of like these really tiny like postage stamp videos of like announcements from like E3, back on my friend's dial-up internet connection.
That's right.
And that was good times, that was all right when you would get to see that kind of stuff, or magazines would start putting out their E3 specials, and you would get to talk about like, oh man, are they gonna talk about the new Sony console that's gonna come out, the PlayStation 2? Oh my god, I heard the Dreamcast was so cool. Like what are we gonna?
Yeah,
we lost something special, I think.
Yeah.
But we lost it a long time before E3 was canceled.
That's true. Yeah. I mean, once these companies figure out that they can just kind of like throw their own thing, then all of a sudden it's like, we can just throw our own thing anytime.
Yeah.
Like Nintendo, it's like, oh, you mean we could just do this like, well, no, sorry, it was Sony. Sony did this like Sony experience, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we can just do that, and then Nintendo's like, oh,
yeah, they're like, wait, we can just do this like on our own for free without paying incredible amounts of money for floor space and internet access.
Mm-hmm.
Like legitimately, like they would pay millions of dollars to attend E3, despite the fact that they were the reasons people were going to E3. The developers were getting the rub for a long time.
Yeah.
And I'm not surprised to see more and more of them just don't find the value proposition all that enticing anymore.
Yeah. That's unfortunate. But I think E3 may be kind of dead. I don't know.
I don't think there's coming back from this. I mean, this was the year that the guy behind it, I can't remember who bought it or bought the rights to it. Somebody was like really excited. They're like, yeah, we got connections. I'm gonna, revitalize E3. They were talking a big game, and we kind of scoffed a little bit. But I think part of us was I was still cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna, dance on the grave here or anything, but it's too bad, I think.
I think it's the guys who runs PAX.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
the guys
they were
behind
taking
PAX.
over to run E3, and then didn't work out.
Yeah.
But we still have TGS, so that's that.
Tokyo Game Show. We still got the Game Awards.
The Game Awards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Especially because we like JRPGs. TGS is one to watch for me personally. They're gonna they're gonna a lot of RPG announcements.
I was pretending that I still cared about first-person shooters and aliens games and stuff, but
space aliens, first person horror, space alien shooter horror.
Oh my god.
It's like 5 games in a row, and they all look alike. I'm just like, is this just one extended trailer, or is that like those are different trailers? Games? Like, I couldn't tell after a while.
You gotta sanity check every once in a while. Brought to you by Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Oh, it's the official snacks of gamers everywhere.
I mean, I shouldn't joke because I actually do drink Diet Dew, but not Doritos. I have standards. All right, let's go ahead and switch over to our section where we're going to be talking about some merch drops.
Yeah, and by some I mean one. But also there's a trailer that comes with that one, and we should take a look at it.
Just put up the trailer.
Just watch the trailer. It sells itself.
All right, let's check this trailer out.
I'm actually itching to get one of these.
By the way, it's completely unrelated, but I did see somebody on Twitter complaining that they went to the Mario movie hoping to get some news about the new Tears of the Kingdom. Like, why would you do that? Why would you go in expecting that? Anyways, just for anybody who might think about going to watch the Mario movie, in the hopes of getting some Tears of the Kingdom news. Don't.
Why?
Because why would there be?
Why? I am really itching to pick this up. It looks gorgeous. The gold and green. I don't even like Zelda. The design is just gorgeous.
You don't even like Zeldies?
I don't care about Zelda. I played one Zelda. I had really good memories of it. But then, like, basically, I played the one that everyone played, which is what is it? Link to the Past. Link to the Past. Yeah. So I played Link to the Past. I absolutely loved Link to the Past. By the way, growing up on Super Nintendo. But then I went on the PlayStation route. I didn't get to have an N64 because you only get to pick one. So I didn't get to play what is it? Ocarina of Time and all that, Majora's Mask, none of those. And then I just kind of like split away from Zelda. And then before you know it, I was like, oh, you can't level up? What do you mean? Like, this is not an RPG. And then so I just never went back. I mean, it looks gorgeous. It looks cool, but it's just like not really.
You should try Breath of the Wild at some point.
I tried it. My nephews love Breath of the Wild, and I'm happy that they like Breath of the Wild, but just weapons with what is the durability, that just rubs me the wrong way. The controller didn't make sense for me.
Sure.
Like, I'm just a boomer. Like, I'm trying to play it. I'm like, this controller is just, it's all messed up. And I just like dropped it. And I'm like, no, I'm not touching this.
That's just bizarre. It's just bizarre to me to find out that my co-host is a godforsaken heathen.
How dare you not like Breath of the Wild was the game of the year.
How dare you not like Thing?
I think Breath of the Wild
Thing.
I think Breath of the Wild looks gorgeous, by the way. And it looks like a really fun game. It's just not for me. But
how dare you?
I will admit I'm gonna get so flamed on for not liking Zelda. Oh no.
It's true. It's happening. I'm just preemptively piling on the hate to help divert. So if I give you the third degree on stream about this,
right now?
I think that'll help inform other people. They don't need to, because I already hit you hard enough. I publicly shamed you already on my YouTube channel in front of 136 people.
Oh no, that's a lot of people
That's a lot of shame there to pile on there, Baku.
Yeah, please do not add me on Twitter. Or add me on Twitter. I'll be happy that you have me on Twitter. But the Theme Pro controller is coming, the carrying case is coming. You can't pre-order those yet. Those are coming in May, but you can pre-order the OLED version of the Switch, which is coming out on the 28th. And can I just say that for whatever reason, this is limited edition, by the way, supposedly.
Oh, they're gone.
That they're handling. No. They're still there. Still there. I checked it before.
Oh, okay.
That they're handling this way better than the limited edition of the game, and I just don't understand how you could do this so right and do that other thing so wrong. Like,
how have they learned from what are they doing differently?
Well, the fact that they announced it is not gone with a single day, the fact that it's available in all major retailers and they have plenty of stocks.
Okay.
Just how is that possible? You would think that getting an OLED system together would be a little harder than getting the limited version of the game. But that was sold out on day one within minutes.
Well, you know what I will say? There is a slight difference. Nintendo, they've gotten really good at making Nintendo Switch consoles because they've made a bunch. And they have the tooling already needed to make special editions. It's for them, this is nothing special. Like, they could make 1 billion of these if they wanted to.
That's fair.
I mean, so that's the thing. I think that the limited edition of the Tears of the Kingdom probably has a lot to do with like the logistics of like getting books printed. It takes a long time to get books printed and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
And
I
they don't have factories making books. That's outsourced for sure.
I still think they should have just set up like a pre-order period.
Yeah.
Get all the orders in,
And then produce them to order.
and then produce them to order. Just like how people
That-
do with figures, but
Just like
that
I
would
do
make
for
too
some
much
of my
sense.
t-shirts. Which
Oh.
you can get at shop.superderekRPGs.com. I don't have any for pre-order right now. They're just all for regular order. But you know, I did it
Waiting
once
for new
my
designs.
Earthbound hoodie. Yeah.
Waiting for new designs, Derek. Waiting for new designs.
Well, gosh, I guess.
Yeah, just a new drops every month.
That would be way too many drops. I want my designs to be special, you know? I don't
No,
just
that's
put
what-
any old crap on a t-shirt and send it. Come on.
No, you
man.
gotta
I got
do it like
standards.
Supreme. You gotta do it like Supreme. You know, it's a monthly drop. Once it's gone, it's gone. You know, like you
Supreme
can't
Derek
ever go back.
RPGs.
Supreme Derek RP. Oh yes, do it. Supreme Derek RPG.
I would probably get sued. So, anyways, let's go ahead and shift gears here to our next segment. We'll be talking about some of the comments and messages we've gotten from
I saw
our
a few
super
fly
chats.
in.
Yeah,
earlier.
I certainly saw several come in, and it's been a little distracting, honestly. Sheesh. No, but seriously. Let's see. We got Bring Back Fluffy Dogs, who says, sleep is nice. HitPoint is better. Glad to see you both.
Hey.
Well, we're glad
welcome
to see
back.
you too, Fluffy.
Yeah.
And
Always good to see you.
you were also talking a little bit about how you've been sneezing all over the place. Well,
Oh yeah.
Fluffy Dog says, Allergy fund initiated and dropped 10 for you there. So
Thank
there
you so
go.
much for that.
Get yourself some Allegra.
Yeah. Oh, I'm finally not sneezing, which is crazy. I was actually sneezing up until like the beginning of the show. You can ask Derek. Like it's been like that all day. I don't know
know.
what's going on.
You know what is the worst?
What?
It's not allergies for me, but there is the Kanza Prairie, which is kind of
Mhm.
out in my area, which is
Mhm.
kind of like a nature reserve, but it is a open field and stuff, nature
Mhm.
reserve, that needs to be burnt off every few years.
What?
Yeah, because that's part of the natural like cycle for the plains. You know, they would get struck
Oh,
by lightning,
okay.
and you know the dry hay would catch, and it would just burn everything down, and it would it's awful,
Mhm.
but that's something that has to be done in the area, and that is what they've
Mm.
recently been doing, and it's just caused this just thick smoke in the area.
Ooh.
Yeah, where it's like fog. You can't see it very much at a distance. It's hazy. Everything smells like I don't know. You ever done that thing where you like took a magnifying glass to a leaf? You know,
Mm, right.
just to like burn. It smells like burning leaves Just
Oh no.
all over the place. It's awful, and
Oh,
there's no escaping it. It's in every house, every building. The best I manage is to go down to the basement because it doesn't seem like it gets down there because it's got less airflow, I guess.
Fingers crossed. Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. But it's been rough. That's why I'm not wearing contacts, by the way, is because they got rough and then I ran out.
Ah.
Yeah, so glasses
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Do you know how long that's gonna last? Like, or
I think that it's pretty much done, but now we have to wait for like a rain or wind to like get it
okay.
away from us,
wash all the soot and get all that smell out the air.
just to knock it out of the air. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it rains soon in your area because boy, that sounds dreadful.
All right. Well, next up, Fluffy Dog says, I was browsing PlayAsia, saw East Memoir, The Oath in Felghana,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
up for pre-order physically.
Yeah.
And they thought we both deserved a copy, and they, dropped us a bit of cash to help fund that. So
Hey, thank you so much for that. Yeah.
thank you very much.
I don't know if there's an like international version or is that like Japanese only?
I know.
So I should take a look.
You should.
Probably after the show, I'll take a look. But thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it.
They also went on to say a separate podcast or stream would probably be better for like a conversation focused show, talking about if we were to bring on other RPG tubers to talk, or maybe to talk with other developers, a secondary show. That would be pretty
I think
interesting.
so. I think
Mhm.
so. Like it's hard to bring them onto like a new show, but like if we did one where we just talk to developers or we just talk to people who are like us who are just like enthusiasts in this like space, I think that'd be fun. We can have some topics, right?
That would be really cool, actually,
Yeah.
to do like instead of like the usual like news episode, like do a
Mhm.
second episode that week of just like a casual discussion. That way, we
Yeah.
wouldn't have to work in news discussions or anything like that, and it could go on for as long or as short as it needed to.
Yeah.
Be pretty
I'd be
cool.
down for that.
Yeah.
Also, I completely forgot to potentially pre-order Ren's figure. I just
Oh, fail. Oh man.
do I even want Ren's figure though? Do I really want Ren's
I
figure?
mean, the answer is yes, but
Because I already got I forgot what's her name's figure coming in.
oh
Um,
gosh, I can't remember her name, but
Yeah, I can't remember the name off the top of my head right now. But yeah, anyways, sorry. I was looking at Play Asia and that was like the first thing that popped up. I was like, oh, right. I forgot about this.
you know what? I'm still waiting on my Valimar figure from Tokyo Otaku Mode.
Did they say when that's coming in?
They said that it shipped,
Oh,
but they said it like a month ago. But it
That's-
says that it takes like 4 to 6 weeks to arrive, and I'm like, okay.
oh
just-
yeah. It's possible.
yeah. I mean, it might be. I keep
Mhm.
plugging the tracking number, and it just like says that the tracking number exists. I'm like, okay, I'll just.
Oh yeah, it might be it's probably on a ship somewhere coming over.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. But man, it's getting kind of.
It takes some time.
I
It
know.
really does. Yeah.
Okay.
Unless you did like air shipping.
I did not.
Like
I did not pay
DHL.
extra for shipping. I should have.
there you go.
mean-
That's why.
But that, I mean, I've ordered stuff from like Play Asia though. Since then, I ordered stuff after that, and it has arrived in less time. So like they are just using like the dog slow shipping at Tom. So
Yeah, probably. That's probably how they keep their cost low.
yeah, well, it
Yeah.
doesn't seem that low. Like, charge me $20 for shipping, bro. I mean, come on.
What? They charge you $20 and it's not even DH. What? Get out!
Yeah, it's crap.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm so sorry to hear that, man.
That's okay.
Well, now we know where not to order from unless you're like really
Well,
desperate.
I mean,
Yeah.
unless you accidentally forgot to pre-order it when you're supposed
Because
to.
that was like literally the last place that has the thing.
Mhm.
And there may be a reason why that was the last place that had it.
I guess so. Maybe so. Anyways, throwing shade at Tokyo Otaku Mode aside, Cassius Victus here. That's a familiar name I haven't heard in a while. Good to see you, man. Says,
Hey.
my support of good JRPG content creators. What system do you think was or is the best for JRPGs?
Super Nintendo.
Ooh, there's a lot. I have a few that come to mind. Super Nintendo is definitely one of them. I feel like Super Nintendo was like at the very beginning of the exponential curve upward of RPG content, and then I think it kind of reached its crescendo up on like the PlayStation 1 era,
Yeah.
and then kind of ramped off a little bit. We had some really awesome games in PlayStation 2 era, but then by the time PS3 rolled around, it was kind of sucky. But
Yeah.
but I will say though that the PSP and Vita are also solid choices. And it kind of depends, because like the Wii even could be considered a solid choice if you're like, oh, do emulation machines count? Because I mean, the Wii was a solid choice for doing some emulation, and it has like native 240p output. Probably couldn't do PlayStation 1 super well. I don't think it could, but I mean, everything south of that though, that was pretty solid. But if you're just talking about like the stock components, I guess Well, then again, one of the things I loved about the PlayStation Portable was that you could hack it to play PS1 games like natively. And I played Chrono Cross that way for a while. Really enjoyed that. The PSP had some solid options. But even the Switch, I think it depends on what you value. What do you value in an RPG machine? How mobile of a person are you? Like, do you commute? Because I feel like for the people who like take a bus to work every day or take a train or whatever, having something that you can take with you to play on, oh, that's gotta raise every system up. Vita, PSP, Nintendo Switch, Steam Deck. It's gotta raise them all up quite a bit, right?
That is true.
But if you're just
Uh,
looking for, so I would say the ultimate mobile gaming experience for RPGs would probably have been like the OLED uh, PSP, or no, I'm sorry, PS Vita, which was able to play all PSP games. And I think you could also hack it to also do, other unreleased games for the system, So that was really a solid choice. Beautiful screen. I never actually owned one, but I always wanted one. Got a PS TV though. But otherwise, the Steam Deck would be probably. I mean, it's really hard to go wrong with that. The entire library of Steam at your disposal. It's pretty good. But if you're just looking for like, I don't know, the sit down experience. I mean, God, are we talking about like just the platforms that were like officially released? Because like the Mister, there's this little like FPGA based system that you can reconfigure to be any number of different consoles and stuff. It just plays in like machine perfect, well, depending on the core, emulation basically, like to the T. Oh, it's hard. It's hard, but like, okay. I don't think that's the spirit of the question being asked though. So I'm going to reel it back in.
Yeah, I think the reason why I said Super Nintendo without thinking about all those things, which you're absolutely right though. Like, I mean, heck, if emulation works, then basically do that, because that will take care of like most of the previous consoles, right? I mean, truly get yourself a good PC, then you can play everything. But I guess the spirit of the question, like you were probably going towards, is like which like official console, like just one. I still go with Super Nintendo.
I'm a sucker for the PlayStation 1 era graphics because that's got a lot more mystery to me, I think. Like, is it because it's got the style of games like Grandia with like the 2D character sprites and 3D backgrounds. It's got the opposite with, Final Fantasy 9, where it's got the, polygonal characters and pre-rendered backgrounds. And it's also got this mix of games that are fully polygonal, like Grand Stream Saga, which, that's something, I guess. And then you have like your almost entirely 2D style games, which, it's just got this really nice variety. You never really know what you're going to get when you say a PlayStation 1 RPG, right?
That's true. That's true.
You can do some really cool stuff graphically, and that's also when they really expanded, like, God, games like Star Ocean: The Second Story, for instance. Like, it's just wild how much there is you could do in that game. That's like when they started lifting all of the developers up to that point were like constrained, which is it's a great way to be creative, is to be constrained, right? But then also all of a sudden, all these people who had just been cooped up on this small scale platform, they were like memory was at a premium. All of a sudden, that just got blown out of the water. It's like, oh, you only had 1 megabyte? How about 750 megabytes? And they're just like, let's do all the things. And
all of the things,
and then they would take multiple discs and they would just fill them up. Just like gotta do all of the things here.
What was it? Final Fantasy 9 had 4 discs. Like, was it?
Heck,
Yeah,
I think Kodelka had 4 discs, and that game was only like 12 hours long.
Oh man,
they would just burn through memory. They're like, oh man, it's so cheap, it's practically free compared to like all of the the chips that they used to have for console based games. So it was I guess it's two different sides of the coin, right? Like you have the stripping out all of the extras and getting just the core of like what makes this thing unique and pure, and then you have post cartridge game development, which is this Cambrian explosion of side content and stuff. It's just wild. I kind of love the PlayStation for that too, but I totally appreciate the Super Nintendo as well. So I think that's probably
Cambrian explosion.
Yeah.
That doesn't there's a very apt description.
Well, thanks for that question there, Cassius. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Flippy Dog says, I heard Capcom. Oh, wait. No mention of Breath of Fire 1 through 4?
Nope, sorry.
Shame.
I would love to tell you that there's a Breath of Fire game coming, but I'd just be lying to you, and I refuse to do that.
I know. Man,
but
every time,
never give up.
Every time I see, by the way, we mentioned like the DLC here for like a game earlier on, and someone's like, oh, what about the DLC for this other game? And it's like, man, I wish that I could just make up news to like bring to the show and like make everybody happy. I wish I could just make things happen, but we have to report on what's actually happening.
Yeah, the real world.
It would make me so happy to mention Breath of Fire 1 through 4 collection. But until then, Capcom's paying me the big bucks to keep it on the down low.
No Breath of Fire 5? No Breath of Fire 6? No one wants 6?
Oh,
what?
That didn't happen. Flippy Dogs also said something similar to physical movies gives you a disc and then a digital code. I'd buy that pack for video games. That would be really cool. You'd have to do something interesting with it where like maybe it has like you have the sealed game and then a sleeve that goes over the sealed game, and maybe the inside of the sleeve has the download code or something. Like you'd have to do something special like that so that you don't have to crack the seal in order to get the digital download. If you have to open the game though to get the digital download, what's the point?
And I can frame it. If you give me physical copy where I can just like frame it, I can put it on the wall. Like this is the decoration at this point. Yeah. Very expensive decoration, but it's like, but look, people do that with LP, so I don't see why I can't do that with like a sealed copy of a game, right?
I mean, it just shelves. That's it. That's a whole lot of decoration right there.
More things to decorate the home that people can't afford. We got issues, man.
Let's see. Duo Beard here says Derek will play Omori if Baku plays Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Would you?
Omori?
Wait, I mean, I think you're way more likely to play Omori than I am willing to play Zelda, though.
I mean, yeah, I'd say
that's like a very short commitment for fair trade. Like,
how long is Omori? Like 10 hours?
Omori. Well, first of all, Omori is a relatively short game.
Yeah.
Even
Breath of the Wild is like 100
paths.
hours if you play it and enjoy it. Then again, I've seen speedrunners finish it in like an hour or less, 10 minutes or so.
Well, I mean, in that case, I'd played Elden Ring in 2 hours because that's the speedrun record. No, but Omori is also like a mother-inspired, like, kind of game. Yeah. So I feel like you would enjoy that game, like, regardless. Like, you should probably play that game anyway. As for Zelda and me, like, yeah, we don't have that kind of relationship. There's nothing about Zelda that, like, draws me in. Yeah.
Well, I mean, coming from someone who doesn't even enjoy Chrono Cross, I mean, there's...
Chrono Cross.
Duo Beard also says here, don't forget to like that like button, everybody. The SuperFriends here.
Oh yeah,
I completely butchered that. He says, don't forget to like. Don't forget that like button, SuperFriends. Thank you, Duo.
Thank you, Duo Beard.
Took me like 3 or 4 attempts to get there, but I eventually said it correctly. Thank you, Duo. Very much appreciated. And yeah, that's the last one. So on that note.
Right.
Duo, thank you so much, everybody. Thank you all for hanging out with us tonight. It has been a pleasure to stream for you, bringing you up to date with all the latest and greatest news that we could find and not make up ourselves. Totally not make up ourselves. But if you enjoyed today's episode, as our super friend Duobeard says, be sure to hit that like button on whatever streaming platform of choice you happen to have available to you. Leave us a review on, that also is helpful on like iTunes and stuff. Yeah. Anyways, we will not be streaming next week though, because Baku is going to be out of town. So be sure to shame him on Twitter for that, and over on his
no.
Twitch account as well, just to make
Not
sure.
the shaming.
Yeah. Shame him as he plays 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim, and I hope you all had a great rest of your night. Baku, any closing thoughts for the people?
Yeah, rest in peace, E3. We will not see you in 2024 or 2025. I'm calling it now.
Yeet.
Yep.